let's just start. Okay, students, like I can feel nowadays, I like earlier when we started, now there was a very much enthusiasm in you all. You people were very attentive, but now I can feel like slowly things are getting like I'm not saying about every student, but there is some enthusiasm missing. So you need a booster class for that, or what happened? I would not like. I want to know, like, are you feeling like economics is getting boring, or any study pressure? Anything you want to share with me?
No,
Because
teacher.
when we started, it was very interactive. Like everyone used to be very interactive, like yes ma'am, no ma'am, like that. But in like now only 2 or 3 people, like Kushi, Amos, Miriam, most of you reply, but very like I get most of the answer from these people, yes, no. But others, any issue, Mohammed, I would like to know how's your studies going on, Mohammed? Like how you're managing. The studies are getting difficult. Like boards are like, is there anyone who is pressurizing you people that you have your boards, you have to study very hard? Anything like that?
No, ma'am, nothing.
So like economics is getting boring
No,
because I didn't get any response like yes ma'am, no ma'am, no queries from you people. Like whenever I ask you any doubts, is this I teach so well that you don't have any doubts, or is this you don't want to ask because you was learning, teacher will be repeating the same thing again, so it's better not to ask.
no, ma'am.
Okay, so what about Heba? Like Heba, how's your studies going on? Like how, like tough, moderate? How's any issues with economics subject? Because I can only help with economics.
It's going good, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, Mariam, what about you? You can write in chat box. 3 of my very topper students are not here. Adib, Dhruv, and Seth. They come to their choice whenever they want. Okay, so because I wanted to interact with them because they are very unusual. Like coming for one day, not coming for 2 days. Coming for one day, not coming for 2 days. And I'm very sure that they don't even watch recordings. But hopefully, Mariam, I hopefully things are good with you. Okay. So students, your vacations are going on, Khushi?
No, ma'am. It's gonna start on 1st July.
Okay. What about Amos?
Yes, teacher. Mine started from tomorrow.
Okay. Mohammed?
Yes, ma'am, for me from Thursday.
Okay. So basically from first, right? Like,
Yes,
yeah.
30.
Oh,
30
okay. So it is for 1 month.
2 months, ma'am. School will reopen on September.
Okay. So it's same for everyone, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. That's amazing. Like 2 months is a very good time. You can enjoy, you can relax, right? Even I can take your extra classes.
Yes, teacher.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely I won't be because I have already tortured you people, I guess, previous week by taking extra classes. So definitely I won't be doing that. And but yeah, the only relief is that we'll be going slow and slow. Like I'm not rushing myself because I want you to understand. I'll be taking your test so that we can improve. And since you have 2 month gap, so basically we have good classes. So I was planning, we are done with 3 units, right? And after that we'll be starting with theory part, right? Is there anyone who once your school gets open, you have something, you have your exams or UTs with you, people? Is there anyone like your teacher told you that once your school gets open, immediately there will be your exam or something like that?
No, ma'am.
Nothing
No,
like
ma'am.
that, no?
Not sure.
Okay. So nothing like that. I have midterm. Okay. So Mariam, what you will be doing, you will be personally sharing your syllabus for midterm. Okay, because midterms are very much important. At a time, I know for UT, you people were not like, most of you were not able to complete the syllabus because we were late. But for midterm, I would try from my end that there is no leniency because midterms are important part. Though your board's exam marks will be counted, but still we need to perform good in each and every test, right? Okay, so basically, students, what I was planning to do is we are done with the 3 chapters, and after that, we'll be starting with the theoretical portion, which is for second book. Okay, I know you, most of the students are already done with the 3 chapter, but still there are lots of queries. So, what I was planning not for this week because today is Tuesday, right? So, Thursday, I'll be teaching you one more class, and on Saturday, I'll be taking your test. Okay, for this week, weekly test will be on Saturday for this chapter. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this will be done. So you can write it down. Saturday will be your test. Okay. And after that, for upcoming next week, I won't be teaching you anything. Okay, like nothing new. Why? What I will be doing is basically we'll be starting with very first chapter, which is money, then this banking, and then this portion, which is this one is budget. Okay, so we'll be taking 3 classes. First class we will be discussing the types of questions which comes in exam. Okay, we will be only discussing the questions, and after that I'll be sharing the PDF with you, so that you can even have the idea how the exam will be there in the boards exam, how the questions will be there. So basically what you people will be doing, basically you will be, for example, for Tuesday class, you people will be reading, you will be well prepared with the money chapter. Okay, from your end there should be no query. Okay, if you have any query, we'll be solving it in the class, and in Tuesday class we'll be discussing concept related to money, like questions, how questions comes in exam, everything we'll be discussing for money chapter. In Thursday class, we'll be discussing the second banking chapter. Similarly, the questions we will be discussing, right? And in Saturday class, we'll be discussing this concept, which is government budget. Is it clear to everyone? I hope this is not going to be very much burden for you. Actually, because if I'll be keep moving now, you will be forgetting the rest part. But I want you to be making a balance between everything. So these next week we will be giving for a revision all the 3 classes, and from next we'll be starting with the new chapter. Clear? Any query or any suggestion you would like to involve, that yes ma'am we can do like this, or anything you want to add on in this plan? Anyone, like any suggestion, like yes ma'am we can do this, we can do that, anything? You are always open for the suggestions. Anyone? Or yes, Amos?
No, ma'am, it sounds good. We'll have to find out. If there is any issue, we will tell you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so basically it will be like fun revision, and it won't be a burden for you, so that you will be aware of the questions, like how questions comes in exam. Okay, so we'll keep like this. Okay, I hope everyone is okay with this. You can write it down, and I'll just also drop this timetable in your groups. Okay, for girls it's different, so I'll just drop that so that you will also get an idea. Okay. Okay, so let's just start. Okay, so basically today we'll be doing theoretical part. In the next class we'll be doing numerical, because from this chapter high chances are there you will get 1 or 2 numericals. Okay, so be ready for the numerical. Till now we haven't done any numericals, but yes, now numerical part starts. Okay, now budget deficit. Till now you were doing budget receipt, budget revenue, all those things you will be doing. Okay, but now it is deficit. So basically deficit is basically how much money you have expended extra. For example, I gave you, your budget was for example, I gave you 100 rupees for your birthday party. Okay, then these are the 100 rupees you have to spend. But somehow you bought cake for 50 rupees, and you bought chocolates for 40 rupees, and you bought 20 rupees cold drink. So the total was 110, right? So basically this 10 was the extra money, right? So this is the deficit. Okay, clear? Your budget was 100, your expenditure was this, but this 10 rupees was your deficit. Clear? Budget deficit. Okay, so budget deficit is defined as the excess of total estimated expenditure. See, your total expenditure, estimated expenditure was 100 rupees, that I will be spending 100 rupees on my birthday party. But excess means 10 rupees you extra added, you extra spent it. So that was your budget deficit. Clear? This was your budget, but you over wasted your money or overspended your money, so that is known as deficit. So budget deficit is defined as the excess of total estimated expenditure over total estimated revenue. See, whatever money you are getting 100 rupees, right? But your revenue was 100 rupees, but you are expending more, right? So that is known as deficit. So whenever you exceed whatever your revenue is, whatever money you are getting, out of, if you are spending extra, that is known as budget deficit. Hope it's clear.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So see, budget deficit is not for us. It is basically for government, because this chapter name is government budget. So it's not about us. It's not about our birthday party. It's about the government. So when the government expenditure exceeds its revenue, it incur a budgetary deficit, or it is known as budgetary deficit. Okay, if you don't want to write this, it incur, you can say it is known as budgetary deficit. It is known as budgetary deficit. Hope this definition is clear. whatever your revenue is, for example, you're getting 200 rupees, 300 rupees, whatever your revenue is, for example, your salary is 500 rupees. That is your revenue, right? But still, if you are spending 600 rupees, that means that 100 rupees is your budget deficit. Your revenue was 500 rupees, but extra how much? That 100 rupees is basically your budget deficit. Clear? So whatever excess you are, whatever revenue you have, but extra you are spending, that is your deficit. I hope it's clear to everyone. You can write it down. Done?
Ma'am.
Okay. I hope
Yes.
everyone is done. Now moving to basically there are three types of deficit. One is revenue deficit, one is fiscal deficit, and one is primary deficit. Okay. Revenue is, for example, how much you are spending and what is your total revenue. Okay. For example, revenue deficit is you are expending 110 rupees. Okay. And your total revenue was you was getting 100 rupees. Right. You were getting 100 rupees, but how much your expenditure you spent 110. So basically the 10 is your revenue deficit. Okay. Second is fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is basically the financial year, the deficit for whole year. So basically your total expenditure minus your total receipt. Total receipt is basically whatever you are receiving. Okay, I hope this receipt term is very much clear to you people, right? Receipt and expenditure are the two parts. So receipt is getting money and expenditure is spending money, right? So here it was, see, receipt is of two types, na, revenue and capital, right? But in revenue deficit, you will only mention revenue receipt. But here you will be receiving total receipt. So total receipt will be including your revenue plus the capital. Okay, clear?
Yes,
I hope
teacher.
I am making
Yes,
myself
ma'am.
clear. Yeah, okay. And now primary deficit. So primary deficit is basically fiscal deficit minus interest payment. Interest payment is basically, for example, I have taken loan from somewhere and I'm paying interest over there, 10%, 20% like this. So if you want to take out the primary deficit, so your fiscal deficit will be here, and interest payment will be your whatever loan, whatever interest you are giving over the loan. Okay, so you just write it down, like these are the three formula, and on the basis of this you will be getting numericals. Okay, just write it down, and after that I'll just tell you two things will be there. Either you will be getting a numerical or you will be getting a theory part. So I'll just tell you, theory part today we will be doing, and numerical part in next class. Okay. Done.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Okay, students. So basically, just remember three things. There are three things: revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, and the primary deficit. Okay. So first we will be doing what is revenue deficit. You already know what is revenue deficit. Okay. Basically, when we will be subtracting total expenditure from the revenue receipt, it is known as fiscal deficit. The difference between, if it comes for definition, what you will be writing, the difference between total expenditure and the total revenue receipt is known as revenue deficit. I hope it's clear. Okay, you just have to change this in the definition form. So how you will be changing? Revenue deficit is basically this message. Okay, revenue deficit is basically the difference between total expenditure and total revenue receipt is known as revenue deficit. Clear? I am not making this complicated. This is very much easy. Okay, clear everyone?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first you will be writing, write like this. First, like this, revenue deficit and the definition. Okay, I'm just telling you the format. Okay, so basically for every term, for revenue, for fiscal, for primary, what three things we'll be doing? First, we will be doing the definition. Okay, which is over here. Okay, definition and the formula, both the things will be there. And after that, we will be writing the implication. Implication means like, where does this apply? Like, how come you will be getting to know that you have to find revenue deficit or the fiscal deficit or the primary deficit, right? How come you will, how come you will get to know this is the revenue deficit, this is the fiscal deficit, or this is the primary deficit? So that is known as implication. And for example, there is a revenue deficit. Okay, of course, you are spending more. That's the problem, right? So of course, I have to correct that problem, right? Earlier, for example, you spent it 10 rupees extra. So somehow you have to recover it. Maybe you had only 100 rupees, but somewhere you spend it 110. So maybe you borrowed it from somewhere else, or you sold out something. You must have done anything. But then I'll just tell you some suggestive measure as well, that how you can solve this, how you can see deficit is not a good thing, right? The deficit is basically a bad thing. It's a negative thing that you are spending over money. That is a bad thing. So basically, what I'll just suggest you some measure how you can reduce this deficit, or how you can correct this deficit. You, of course, you spend it extra, you took money from somewhere, so how you will improve it? So basically, for these three things, we will be doing three things: for definition, second implications, and third suggestive measure, how you can correct revenue deficit. Clear? This will be the format for all the things. So basically, what happened in exam, they ask you what are the implications of revenue deficit. Okay, or they'll be asking what are the implications of fiscal deficit, or they'll be asking what are the implications of primary deficit, or they will be asking what are the, how can you correct the primary deficit. So at that moment, you will be writing the suggestive measure. Okay, clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So be very focused. Okay, so first we will be starting with revenue deficit. So first you will be writing first revenue deficit, the definition part. The definition is very much clear. Difference between total expenditure and total revenue receipt is known as revenue deficit. Write it down, then we'll start with implications. Done?
Yes, teacher.
ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll be moving to implications of revenue deficit. Okay. So basically there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So you have, like, you can only remember 4, 1, but you have to understand everything. Somewhere the statement based questions also come. So you have to understand everything and you will be writing all the points. But coming to remembering part, the 4, 1, you should at least remember 4, 1. Okay. Exact. Okay. Okay, now implication. So very first thing is revenue deficit indicate. Now how will you get to know that this is revenue deficit? Okay, there should be some terms and there should be some, uniqueness in that yes, after look, for example, I just told you that how come this is the pen? How will you get to know that this is a black pen or blue pen? So basically you will be checking the ink. Okay, you will be writing something and after that you will be get to know that this is black pen or blue pen, right? Similarly, how will you get to know this is revenue deficit? So revenue deficit indicates the inability of the government to meet the expenditure on routine functioning of the economy. So what happened? Basically, what was revenue expenditure? Revenue deficit. Revenue deficit was basically whatever your total expenditure is, it's more than revenue expenditure. For example, you are spending more. Whatever revenue you are getting, you are spending more. Okay, your expenditure is more. So first thing what you got to know from revenue deficit is that government is enabled. Right. For example, government know that they have to construct road, school, hospitals. These three things they had to do, but they had only 100 rupees with them. Okay. So what they do, they use 40 rupees for school construction and 40 rupees for hospital construction. And now they have to use 40 rupees for this road construction, but only 20 rupees were there. Okay. Because they had only 100 rupees. So basically they were unable. Okay. This shows that inability of the government, that they are unable to meet the expenditure. They know earlier they were very sure that they had to do three things: road, school, and hospitals. And they knew that 40 rupees will be used for road construction, 40 will be for use for hospital, 40 for the education, okay, or the school. But still their expenditure was this. So basically what it was showing the inability of the government to meet the expenditure. You know, you are there, you have to spend money, but still you are unable to do so. So that means this is showing the inability of the government to meet the expenditure on routine functioning of the economy. See, this is very routine now. This is the, for example, I am the government, this is my duty to make roads, to construct road, to make hospitals, to make schools. This is my duty, this is my routine work. But still, if I am taking, for example, my road, I had only 100 rupees. I took loan of 20 rupees because of course I had to construct the road. So that was showing the inability of the government. Clear? Everyone, first point is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So after revenue deficit, when you saw, okay, this is revenue deficit. So very first thing is that revenue deficit shows inability of the government to meet the expenditure on routine functioning of the economy. So whatever their routine is, whatever their function is, okay, they are unable to do so. So that is a revenue deficit. So write down the first point and be very quick. Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Others?
One second. Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay. I hope everyone is done. Is there anyone who is not done? Okay, done. Okay, second is it implies this saving. Okay, this saving. See, there is a term saving. Saving means, for example, I'm not spending money and I'm saving it. Okay, this saving means if I'm using that, so sorry. If I'm using that money, for example, I have this saving of 100 rupees. I am using that money. That is this saving. Okay, instead of saving, I'm taking that money. I'm using that money. That is this saving. So basically, revenue deficit implies this saving on government account because government is using. For example, I had 100 rupees for this and this sector and 100 rupees for some other sector. So what I will be doing, I'll be taking money from that sector. Okay, that It was fixed. 100 rupees will be for this sector, 100 rupees will be for that sector. For example, with you also, 100 rupees for party, 100 rupees for food and clothing, 100 rupees for education, like this. So what happened? You were unable to fulfill the party. For example, there you spent 120. So what you will be doing? You will be taking out money from the from that 100 rupees which you allotted for education, for your school and school fees or something like that. You will be taking money from that. So what you are doing? You are doing this saving. Okay, instead of saving 20 rupees, you are taking it out from some other account. Okay, that is this saving. So basically, revenue deficit implies this saving on government, because government is using up saving of other sector of the economy to cover the gap between revenue expenditure and revenue receipt. Of course, there is a gap. This is my expenditure and this is my receipt. I'm getting 100 rupees and I'm spending 110. So there is a gap of 10 rupees. So I have to fulfill that gap. So what I will do? I will take money from some other sector. Okay, for example, you had 300 rupees. 100 rupees was for food and clothing, 100 rupees for your pocket money for enjoying partying and all that, and 100 for your fees and all that. You spent 120 rupees in partying. So what you will do? Of course, you will be taking money from the maybe from food and clothing or from education, right? To fulfill the gap between your expenditure and the revenue deficit which you did in party. Okay, so that implies this saving. Saving is, for example, you had 100 rupees and you spent 80 rupees, 20 rupees were left, you will save them. Okay, but in case instead of saving, you are taking the money from some other sector, that is this saving. Okay, opposite of saving. Not saving, even taking the money, that is this saving. So basically, revenue deficit implies this saving on government account, because government is taking money from some other sector. Why? To cover up the gap between revenue expenditure and the revenue receipts. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
That's it.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone done?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope everyone is getting the points, right?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah, don't feel like it's very difficult. We'll slowly do it. Okay, maybe if we are unable to complete it today, we'll just take more time. But remember, after the class, you should be, even I'm not asking you to learn everything, but at least you should know that revenue deficit first, inability of the government, second, this saving of the government. Okay, it's a good morning for Seth. Okay. Okay, next is basically it implies that government has to make up this deficit by disturbing its capital budget. Okay, either through borrowing or sale its assets. Okay. Okay. Now basically see, there are 2 points over here which you can write any one. Okay. Basically see what happened now. See, deficit is not a good thing. Of course, if you are spending money, for example, your budget was 100 rupees. You are spending 110. Definitely, that 10 rupees extra, either you will be buying it from someone else or you will be selling something. For example, I had a car. I sold it out because I needed money. Okay, there are two chances. What I can do, I can even take loan or I can even sell my assets. Okay, so basically what you will be writing, you will writing revenue deficit either leads to increase in liability. Okay, liability, why liability will be increased? Because I'll be borrowing it. Okay, in the form of borrowing, or reduce the assets through the sale of assets. Okay, see what happened, revenue deficit. See, because of revenue deficit, two things will be there. Either your liability will be increased. Why? Because you will be taking loan from someone else. Because the 10 rupees from where you will be giving. Of course, you are taking it from someone else. That brother or sister, I just want 10 rupees. I'll be returning it to you next month. Like this. Or maybe you have something, you have your car with you, you have your pen with you, you have a mobile phone with you. You sold it out. Because somewhere you have to pay the bill. Right? So either your liability will be increased. Why? Because you are borrowing. Right? Or your assets will be decreased. Why? Because you will be selling something. Clear? So because you don't have to write these things from here, you can write revenue deficit. It means not revenue. From here you can start writing revenue deficit either leads to increase in liability in the form of borrowings or reduce the assets through sales of its assets. Okay, clear? I hope this point is very much clear because we have done this earlier as well. Right?
Yes, teacher.
ma'am.
Now write it down. Good morning, Seth. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Why so early? Class is not started yet.
Now I was busy doing some government work.
Okay, something very much important than eco class.
Yeah, ma'am, it was important.
Okay, so like I guess you must complete that work, you know? Why did you join for 10 minutes? Only 10 minutes are remaining.
To benefit something.
Okay. So Sam, are you like you were not there in the previous class as well, I think.
I was there, I think.
You think you are even you are not sure that you were there in the class or not.
I was there. Yeah, I was
Okay.
there.
So what I taught in the previous class?
You took test, I guess.
Huh? Previous class I took test. Previous class I was teaching, I guess. I was teaching you the difference between expenditure, non-expenditure. That's why I'm saying you were not there in the previous class. You were there in the previous to previous class.
All right.
Do you know when we have the classes? Can you please tell me the days when you have the classes?
She can't move also.
Who's this? Maybe your brother? Let him speak. Let him speak. You know, he must be telling the truth.
He's also joined tuition.
Okay, so same Learnivio.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he's in which standard?
Sixth.
Okay, so I'll talk to him. You know, personally, I'll ask him what you do instead of attending class. What is the most important task you were doing?
Okay.
Okay. Others?
Yes, ma'am, done.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Now moving to next thing, use of capital receipts may lead to inflationary situation in the economy if wasteful expenditure by government is not controlled. Okay. Now this is the very new statement. You know inflation. What is inflation? Is there anyone who don't know what is inflation? Is there anyone who want to tell me what is inflation?
Ma'am, increasing of price.
So inflation is basically increase, like prices are high. And what about demand? Demand is excess or deficit? I'm not
Deficient.
asking listen to my question. When there is an inflationary situation, okay, at that time, what is the demand? I'm not asking because of inflation. I'm asking when there is an inflation, when we bring inflation. So at that time, what is the situation of demand? Just think.
Demand will decrease.
I'm not asking, I'm asking before inflation. Like when we bring inflation, at what situation we bring inflation?
Okay.
Sure, when there is excess demand.
Yes. Okay, so I'll just clarify it. Miriam was there. Yeah, good. Miriam, much demand. Miriam and Amos was right. See, when there is excess demand, right? Excess demand means people are demanding a lot. There are lots of people who are demanding. So what I will do, I will increase the price, I'll bring inflation, right? So if I'll ask you what is the situation of demand, so when there is inflation, so basically demand was very high. And because of that, I increase the price, right? So I'm not asking because of inflation what is happening. I'm asking when there is inflation, there is excessive demand. That's why inflation is there. That's why I'm increasing the price because lots of people were demanding it. But when there is deflation, there is no demand. That's why I'm decreasing the price because nobody is demanding. So when I'll decrease the price, everyone will be, demanding the things. Clear? So when I'll ask you because of inflation, what is the effect of demand? What will be the demand? Then you will be saying, ma'am, demand will be low because when the price will be high, of course, people will be not demanding. But when I will be asking you, when there is an inflationary situation, that means demand is excess or deficit. You will be saying excess because when there is excess demand, only then inflation comes. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So basically, what is happening? Use of capital receipt. Okay, see revenue and the capital. So use of capital receipt may lead to inflationary situation. If you are using your capital receipt, there will be inflationary situation. That means prices will be very high. Okay, why? See, for example, you have very like government. What government is doing? Government is wasting the money, right? If I told you your budget is 100 rupees, but instead of that you are wasting 110 rupees in your birthday party. That is a wastefulness. Now, why you are wasting? You know you have 100 rupees budget. So why you are not doing that? Why you are wasting your money? So basically, when you waste your money in the situation, what happened in the economy? Inflationary situation comes. Why? Because earlier you had enough money, but now you don't have any money. Right? So what government will be doing? Government needs money. Right? So government will increase the price of everything. Why? Because government needs money. Right? I am the government. Earlier the prices was 10 rupees for each and every product. Okay, but after my party, I spend it extra money from my pocket. I don't have any money. Even I am in loan. Okay, so what I will do, I will increase the prices. Now I say 20, 20, 20. Why? Because whatever money I'll be getting, it will be more so that I can pay my whatever extra money I use, I can repay that. Okay, clear? So whenever there is revenue deficit, then the inflationary situation comes because government wasted. Now it want to control. Now just to control this inflationary situation, there comes the situation. Okay, clear? So whenever government will be expending more money, then the situation of inflation will be there. Why? Because government will be increasing the price because I need money now. Only you people are the source of money. So from you only I will be taking money. So I just increase the price. Clear? I hope this is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what you
Yes.
will be writing, use of capital receipt may lead to inflationary situation. Now, revenue deficit are already done, so they'll be using capital receipt. Okay, the money. Capital receipt is basically the money which I get from the people. Okay, maybe the taxes, maybe the license fees, everything. Okay, capital receipt. I hope everyone remember what is that. Okay, so because of that inflationary situation in the economy, okay, because I'm see, there are two type of receipt, a revenue and the capital. Revenue I'm already done, that's why there is a deficit. So now I have other option which is capital receipt, so I'll be using that. So whenever I'll be using capital receipt, because of that inflationary situation will be there, because I'll be increasing the price because I'm the government. Okay, okay, in the economy, if wasteful expenditure by the government is not controlled, and if I'll keep continuing wasting my money, then inflationary situation will be rising. Earlier it was 20, but maybe I'm not controlling my money expenditure. It can be 30. It can be 40. It will be increasing. So I hope this point is you people are getting it. You'll start. Sorry, is it okay? Okay, you'll start with use of, I'm done with revenue. So of course, I'll be using second alternative, which is capital receipt. So use of capital receipt may lead to inflationary situation. Once I'll be using capital receipt, of course, I'll be increasing the prices of each and every product. Inflationary situation in the economy and inflationary situation will be keep rising if wasteful expenditure by the government is not controlled. Okay, if government will not control its expenditure, then of course this inflationary situation will be increasing. I'll be increasing the prices higher. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, teacher.
Write it down, then we'll do the next. Done.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now last point, which is higher borrowing. See, for example, I spend it a lot, of course I'll be taking borrowing. So higher borrowing would increase the future burden to repay the loan amount and interest rate. See, taking loan is very much easy. Right now, at that moment, you can feel like, okay, someone gave you the money. But of course, just think, in future, if you are taking money, at that moment, it will be there. You have to repay it. Right. So at that moment, you will be feeling burdened that you have to pay so much of money. You have to repay the loan. And of course, the interest rate will be there. Nobody gives you loan free of cost. You have to pay interest. For example, you took 100 rupees loan. When you will be returning that money to the people, it will be maybe you have to give 150 rupees, 110, 120, 130 like that. That will be the interest rate. Okay. So higher borrowing would increase the future burden to repay the loan. Of course, if you are taking 10 rupees, you have to pay 15 rupees. Okay. But in case you took 20 rupees, so you have to pay 30 rupees. Okay. So your future burden to repay the loan will be increased, and the interest payment, the interest over that money will also increase. So this is the last implication, that if you are taking money Higher borrowings would increase the future burden to repay the loan, plus your interest rate will be increased. Okay, you can write it down.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone done?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are done with the time as well. So we'll be continuing the other parts. I hope everyone is getting the points. Okay. Because these are very much important. See, in exam hall, either you will be getting the direct question that write the implications, or you will be getting how how can you say that revenue deficit implies this saving on the government. So you have to explain, give this example that yes, this saving because government is using the savings from some other sector, they are using the money. Okay, if they'll be asking you how revenue deficit leads to increase in liability, so you will be saying borrowing, because of borrowing liability increase, and because of selling of assets there is a decrease in assets. Okay, so it can be statement based or it can be the direct question, so you should be ready for each and every circumstance. Okay.
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 Yes, teacher.
So we will be meeting in the very next class. Okay, till